In this chapter, I will be building Mando's iconic helmet. A portion of this video is sponsored by Omaze. Enter at omaze.com/hacksmith for your chance to win a custom Tesla Model S and support some great causes. Welcome to Chapter 3 of our Mandalorian series. Over the next couple months, Hacksmith Industries will be piecing together our very own Mandalorian suit. But we aren't just stopping with the armor. We'll be including some of the weapons and a few other special builds as well, all leading up to an epic finale where I don the suit for the first time and put it to the test. You definitely don't want to miss it. In Chapter 2, Bogdan and Caleb made the blaster and spear. Before that, in Chapter 1, I built Mando's flamethrower. If you missed any of it, there are links in the description below. With the blaster and spear complete, Bogdan and Ben have turned their focus to something very exciting. Baby Yoda. I mean, the child. I mean, Grogu. Specifically, his preferred method of transportation. I know it's not technically part of Mando's suit, but we couldn't resist. And if you can't resist the urge to watch that chapter, it's available right now, exclusively to members. If you're not already a member and want early access to that video and future Hacksmith videos, click the link below. When it comes to the Mandalorian, it's the helmet that's the most iconic. Ever since Boba Fett appeared on our screens in The Empire Strikes Back, fans have been drawn to the Mandalorians. The amazing cult-like following the supporting character gained is what eventually led to the Mandalorian as a series. And no piece of tech or armor is more instantly recognizable than the helmet. It better be, I guess. He never takes it off. If I don't get this helmet right, the entire project will suffer. So there's lots of pressure. Like most projects, it all starts off with the design. How are we going to design Mando's helmet? I actually bought this replica helmet, which we're going to use as reference. It's really quite complicated with all those curved surfaces, which is going to be a real challenge to manufacture, especially out of Beskar. As always, we'll be using SolidWorks to do the actual design. So we've got the front of the faceplate now, and we're just going to give that a nice curve. Let's design the rest. Looking pretty good. So we've got most of the helmet designed now. As you can see, I've got all the features around the outside of the helmet. Now the thing we're missing is the dome. How are we going to make a metal dome? The obvious answer would be to cast a shape like that. Unfortunately, we don't actually have any casting facilities here at Hacksmith Industries, so we're gonna have to try and think outside the box. Sheet metal dome fabrication. Huh, and look at that. You can make a dome with a bunch of triangles. If you make a triangle in this shape, where each section is a dimension K, which is radius divided by 2.56, when you curve it, they actually line up together to allow you to make a metal dome. And hypothetically, if I create a circular pattern, they should all go together just like this picture. So let's see what happens. And look at that. It's pretty dome-like. Let's make it real. All right, so we have all the 12 gauge pieces cut out, which means we can start forming them. Luckily, we just got a brand new roller, which means we can actually create curves in sheet metal super easily. This should match up fairly closely to the curvature of this, which it does. Let's curve the rest of the parts. So we've curved the dome triangles using the roller, but the issue is this part also interfaces with a curve. So we need to actually roll this the other way too, which we can't do on that. So what I've actually done is create a bunch of sheet metal dies using our plasma cutter to use in a vise, which means we can actually put the piece in, clamp it with a vise, and give it that nice little bend so it fits perfectly onto the helmet. I want to do a test fit, so I'm actually going to use duct tape to hold these triangles into the dome shape, because that dome is really going to control the overall shape of the helmet. So we can't laser cut all the parts, so we're going to go use our plasma cutter and our new CNC machine to make a few more. I think that's the last piece I need, which means we can start welding it all together. Hey guys, you know I love Tesla. We even built the world's first half-scale Cybertruck. So I'm super excited to announce that Omaze is offering you the chance to win a Tesla Model S customized by Unplugged Performance and 20 grand cash. And yeah, unlike this one, it's full scale. This dream car comes with 21-inch unplugged wheels, cognac leather interior, and a matte gray exterior wrap. It can do 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds, making it the fastest accelerating production sedan in the world. And don't worry, taxes and shipping are always included. All you have to do is go to omaze.com/hacksmith and enter for your chance to win. Use code HACKSMITH150 to get an additional 150 free entries to increase your odds. And every donation entry benefits a great cause, like Give Power, who creates sustainable solar water farms that provide access to clean water in water-scarce regions around the world. Or 501c3, a nonprofit for the younger generation focused on energy, food, water, and shelter that started out in Flint with the Water Box program to bring people clean water to communities in need. Much like our half-scale Cybertruck here, the Tesla Model S is all electric and looks awesome with blackout trim, a carbon fiber rear deck lid spoiler, diffuser, and side skirts. You can help save the planet and look badass at the same time. Who doesn't want that? So for your chance to win this custom Tesla Model S, go to omaze.com/hacksmith and enter now. Don't forget to use our code HACKSMITH150 for 150 additional entries. Good luck. All right, that's definitely not my best welding, but I'm not actually a welder, so luckily I have a grinder. All right, there's one half of the dome, which means I just need to make a second. Luckily, I already have. The next part we're going to make is actually the earpiece. Now the earpiece is kind of cool because it's actually utilizing the laser cutter, the plasma cutter, and our new CNC machine. So now I have to just put all four of these pieces together and we'll end up with something that looks just like Mando's helmet. All right, we've got it all tacked together now, which means we just have to weld the rest, grind it flush, sandblast it again, fill in these relief bend cuts, and then it'll look like this. All right, so now it's time to do one of the detail pieces, which is this back part right here. I laser cut all the parts, but I'm not too sure how it's actually going to go together, so let's see what happens. Not too shabby. So I think I'm ready to start tacking up the entire helmet so it starts looking like a helmet, so I'm super excited. Probably could have made the ears a bit lighter, you know? All right, now I just have to weld all those seams. TIG welding is kind of like painting with a really fine brush. It's really easy when you can rest your wrist on the table while you're working, but when you're using a bigger piece, sometimes you can't hold your wrist on that. I actually made this wrist mount, little thing, to support your arm while you're welding, and it really works quite well. Now we can start with some of the detail work. We're on to the next step, which means we can remove these ribs I put in to make sure this curved nicely, but now we need to actually do the cheeks. So I'm gonna take this grinder, cut these ribs off, and then we can start fabricating those cheeks. There's basically 3 different pieces, and as you can see, the top one is actually curved in 2 directions. So I've laser cut out the parts I need. I'm gonna start by rolling this one cheek piece, but likely I'm gonna have to bend and hit with a hammer in the vise to fit this exact curve. All right, so that worked out pretty good. Let's see if we can make it fit. I just have a bunch of grinding to do. Now we just have to put them together. Probably as good as we're gonna get. And sandblast and grind. Whew. Oh. Do I look cool? No? Then what was the point, Daryl? What was the point? Now I may not look cool, but at least the helmet works. Oh. I guess the only thing left is to make it a bit shinier. So we're going to use this wire wheel brush to really give it a nice polish. All right, I think it's done. Now, the sandblasting did actually hide some of the imperfections with the grinding and the welding and whatnot, but honestly, I kind of like the way it looks. I feel like if his helmet was actually forged out of Beskar, it probably wouldn't look as perfect as it does in the show anyways. Now all we need to do is add a bit of detail. We're gonna paint a black line in here and in the earpiece like that. The nice thing is I don't have to be too careful with this, because once I'm happy with the paint in the crack, I can just take a cloth with some acetone and wipe off any spillover that I got onto the front surface. The last step is the visor. Now, I'm probably gonna laser cut a few spares, but in the meantime, I think I'm just gonna use the one from this prop helmet.
This is the way.
With the flamethrower, blaster, spear, and now the helmet complete, we are well underway to completing the entire Mandalorian suit. But there's a long way to go, and in Chapter 4, Bogdan will be back with Ben to build the Baby Yoda Cradle. That video is available right now to members. Of course, if you aren't already a member and can't get enough of a Mandalorian build, click the link below to become a member and revel in all that early access glory for all of our videos. This is the way. I have spoken.